Happy Mompreneur Mondays, everyone. It has been such a roller coaster ride the last few weeks. I cannot count how many times we have ran into little roadblocks. It's just been crazy. So that's why I've been gone. At least the series has been gone for a little bit. I'm not going to get into all the different roadblocks, but I thought this month was going to be a complete wash for the series for a little bit there, but I'm so happy to be able to bring you guys an amazing mompreneur who I had the pleasure of meeting. I believe it was last year. It was during all this pandemic stuff. Her name is Katherine, and Katherine is so amazing. Like getting on our first Zoom ever last year or like early this year, I don't remember where I think it had to be last year, was so refreshing because she was one of the first women that I was able to speak to where it's like, this lady gets it. And I just had such an amazing conversation with her. So when I decided to start the series, I was like, I've got to reach out to Katherine and get her on this series. I've just felt like she has so much to give to entrepreneurs entirely, but specifically to mothers. Even if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, I just feel like she has so much to give. And that's why I wanted her to be a part of this series. So I wanted all of these moms to be a part of the series. So we're going to be chatting it up with her today. And I also want to just let you guys know that there are a couple of moms who I have videos that are going to come out a little bit later that were for earlier in the month, but we just had some issues with getting them on for that actual live date. Some were like schedule conflicts and things that fell on my end. It's just life happens. That's the beauty of motherhood and the chaos of it too. So we dealt with that, and hopefully we will have everything smooth sailing from here on out. But this week, we're talking to Katherine. I think you guys are going to absolutely love her. So let's get into it. Let's talk to Katherine and have a great Mompreneur Mondays. If you're new, though, be sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you can get updates whenever we post. Typically, it is every Monday. I was trying to do Wednesdays. I'm not sure if that's coming back yet. I probably would just do other videos as I have the time and the desire to do it. Trying to have an additional scheduled series has been really taxing. As you can see behind me, my background has changed a little bit. I am homeschooling my daughter, so that is an additional job that I now have. So having another series each week is a little bit difficult. But anyways, you guys will be seeing those other two moms. There's two other moms that we missed, and then a third that I wasn't able to connect with at all. So there are two moms that you will at least get here on YouTube, but they won't be in the Instagram series. Yeah, but I don't want to waste too much time. Let's go ahead and talk to Katherine and learn all about what it is that she does and how she can motivate and inspire you as well. See you guys in the interview. Hi, Katherine.
Hey, Alana.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Oh yeah, thank you for being a part of this. Obviously, you and I actually chatted before this was ever even a thing, and that was one of the main reasons why I was like, I've got to reach out to Katherine and chat with her about being in the series. So thank you for saying yes and being a part of it. So before we dive into your business, which is why you're here, you're a mom and an entrepreneur. Can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? It doesn't have to be about business or anything like that, and something that makes you more than just a mom.
I'm Katherine, and I am a mom of three. I have a 20-year-old. She's in college and she lives in New York. I live in Florida. I have a 17-year-old daughter that she is graduating next year and she's moving to Italy. And I have a 12-year-old son that he has autism and he keeps me pretty busy. So I have been an entrepreneur for the past almost 5 years. I transitioned from senior leadership positions in corporate America to become an entrepreneur, and I didn't look back. Has been definitely a ride, especially on the first 2 years of the entrepreneurial journey. But I enjoy it and I love it. And yeah, so I have been a coach for more than 10 years, and I'm a coach for entrepreneurs. So coaching on my own, since I started my business 4.5 years ago.
Awesome. So, what is it that made you leave corporate America and decide, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own 10 years ago now?
Yes. I love the organization that I work for. I really uh, believe in their mission. However, uh, it's always going to be like you are not your own boss. Doesn't matter how high you climb the corporate ladder, is going to be always somebody else that is going to take is going to make the final decision, right?
Right.
I'm always about helping people, and for more that I have like this layaway, because I was, in a senior position, that was always going to be the CEO and the whole organization as a whole to take the decision for the better good. However, it's not 110% your ideas, right? And it's not that I don't like to follow rules. I just want to do it on my own, and on my own terms. So that's why I left. And yeah, and I was honestly, it took me like a year and a half to finally take the decision, because like with anybody else, it's all this what if, right? What if I don't make the money? Is just me and my kids. So how I'm going to replace this, you know this high 5 figure income, my benefits, my son has autism, all these kind of things that make it harder for you. And then and you start to as you start to question the what ifs, you start to your brain start to give you those excuses of why you should stay instead of why you should leave. And yes, took me a while, but finally, when I was able to pull the trigger, I just left and I didn't look back.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on stepping out 10 years ago and for being successful to the point of having a business for 10 years. I know some people who aren't an entrepreneur, who have never run a business, don't understand like how much grit that takes to be able to not only go out there and start your business and have it for a few years, but to have it running for 10 years. So major congrats to you on that. And if you did that 10 years ago, you have a 12-year-old son, so that means when you started you had a toddler.
Yes. But just I just want to, just to make sure, I have been an entrepreneur for almost 5. I have been a
Okay,
coach for 10.
you've been a coach for 10. Okay.
Yes, yes. So, but yeah, but when I started the journey, Luca was 5, and yes, and it has been a roller coaster from everything, right? Because as a mom, it has to be they still going to school, so it's just like, or you pay somebody to bring them to school, or you have to bring them to school and pick them up. And when you are an entrepreneur, and is that belief that yes, you have freedom to do, to schedule your things. However, sometimes you find yourself working more than 8 hours or 10 hours a day as an entrepreneur. And when you have kids, it's just like you go, you bring them to school and you go back home, and then you have to go to pick them up. So you just have like 3-hour window, and like the time passed so quickly when you have kids. And when you're trying to work on your task is hard, right? And on top of that, like in my case, if they call me, you have to pick him up, and I'm in the middle of something, so it's just like, um I will say that is harder. Like if you have, kids, not impossible, like I do it, you do it. There are many women that do it, but it's like you have to really be on top of your things, and you have to really be planning ahead, and making sure that this is what you want. In that way, this doesn't become your hobby, right? And at the end of the day, is the commitment that you have, and it's different when this is it. When like this is my job, right? I have to replace, years ago I have to replace my corporate income, and right now is like the same. I have my goals and my financial, marks. So it's not a hobby, and it's not something like, oh, we'll see, and when I see people, yes, you have to work hard and you have to hustle, and because if you have somebody else, it's easier, because it's easier to get comfortable.
Mhm.
Like if I don't make it, somebody else will pick it up. Or even if you have somebody else, if this is your why, and you know exactly why you want to make it happen, you will. But definitely having kids, and planning everything around activities, if they are in sports, if they are girls and they go to ballet, if they want to go to the park. All those things are, they may cause you stress as well, because you're trying to run a business and you want to succeed, and so many times like, how I'm going to do it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, but you will find a way.
Yeah. And I love that you broke that down for anyone who's watching that maybe doesn't have a business right now. And by the way, 5 years is nothing to sneeze at either. There's a lot of businesses that don't make it 5 years. For many of the things that you said in that whole explanation, you have to take it seriously. And it is harder as a mom. It's obviously not impossible. I mean, there were 52 women signed up for the series for a reason, because there's more than that who are out there being amazing moms, running businesses, and making it happen. But we all have our reason and our understanding that that's our purpose, and and we have a why behind it. And you have to work hard. Like, I can't count how many times I was like, I don't know, I'm going to make this work. But we always figure it out, because there's that drive behind it. And if you don't put that drive behind it, then like you said, it turns into a hobby, and it's something that's going to like sit on the back burner. Now, I've had those kind of things happen for me too before starting this, where, I started something, I thought it was really cool, it was fun, and I dabbled in it a little bit, but didn't take the time out to really focus. And I agree. I think like children, some ways, like really light that fire under you. A lot of the things I started where they kind of got set to the side were pre-baby. And it was like, yeah, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then with this, it's more of a passion project. And so it was like, it's gotta work. Like, I might have to tweak it, I might have to change it, but it's gotta work. And I've said this before in the series, for me, like my why was literally my daughter. I know she's 4 and she's not having kids anytime soon, so she's not a mom, but one day she might be, you know. And if I have a son in the future, one day he may be a father, and he may see his wife in a different way, or his the mother of his child in a different way, because he saw his mom, or because she saw her mom. They have this different kind of empowerment of what motherhood looks like. Because I did not like the society's view on motherhood, and that's why I was like, I've got to be that little light that changes how moms are viewed in society. So I went on that whole rant to get to the point of asking you, Katherine, what is your why for coaching? And I know obviously you did it for 5 years before you went out on your own. But what is that thing that really drives you to make sure that even when your kids have other activities, you've got one adult, you've got one graduating, and one that's still in school. So you've got a lot going on. How do you say, you know what, I'm not giving up? This is what I need to do.
Like first of all, I love coaching. Like coaching is when the transformation happens, and that's what I love. That's what I love the most about coaching because it's helping people get that aha moment. And I love that question because we hear so much about coaching, and so many people doesn't understand what coaching is. And it's just like people expect for a coach to give them all the answers when coaching is actually helping you to find the answers from yourself, what is going on, because nobody knows better Alana than Alana. You can do what I tell you to do, but if it doesn't work for you, you're gonna do it for a period of time and then you're gonna go back to be who you are. And in business that's critical because there are so many factors from mindset to procrastination and all these kind of things that when you peel the onion you really find out like what is going on and you can come empowered, and at that point you can learn from everything that I can teach. So for me it's just like finding that transformation in the people and setting them up to be successful and to be able to get the dream that they want, because so many times people focus on the business, right? But at the end of the day, the business is the meaning to get where they really want, the life that they want. Can be travel, can be, for moms, freedom to don't have to go work 9 to 5, money, whatever it is. So that's why that's one of the things that I love the most. And back to your question regarding finding the strength, is is the desire, right? And as and same thing as you say, and I love, that's why I love what you do, like bringing that awareness. um because I also have find out that many women put their dreams aside because they have kids. And I found that, climbing the corporate ladder as well. I travel 60% of the time nationwide, and I did it, and it's challenging, but you get to a point that this is like, I go back. If this is something that you really want, you're going to do it, and you're going to find the strength, and you're going to stop the excuses. uh, and it's just gonna, you're gonna make it work. There are periods of time that of course you're gonna feel that you cannot go anymore. Like in my case, like Luca has autism, and there I have been through like many things, like come to pick him up from school, like now he's going to start 20 hours a week of therapy. uh, and it's just like all these kinds that you start to think about it, but uh, you make it happen. And you make it happen because that's you wanna leave a legacy. And what you say is so true about your kids, like in the way that I know my daughter that is 20 and my other daughter, and Luca, I don't know, because he lives in his little world. But they see me in a different way because they knew my drive and what my desire of climb the corporate ladder. I'm Latina, I have an accent, I went in, the organization that I was working on was just like a lot of not yeah, there were not like no that many people from different ethnicities. So one of the things in my team was like, I need to have people in different ethnicities, especially, I was in charge of coaching and coaches, and in order, for people to relate, we are all different, we're not all the same, but climbing that ladder was tough. And I want my kids to see that is possible. 100%.
Yes.
Whatever dream you have and whatever you put your mind is possible. Even the days that I feel like, oh my God, I cry so many times. I train people nationwide, and I have so many comments from other leaders in the industry that they were telling me, like, your accent is really heavy. Do you think that you're going to be able to do this? I'm like, hell yes. I have seen people with like really heavy accents worse than mine, and and they're being successful. But don't letting those things get into myself like 24/7. I can tell you I cry, but I get over it. This is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going. Um, it's just priceless. Like for me, that my kids are able to see that doesn't matter if you have kids, you are, like that's my legacy to them. Like seeing the strength of of a woman and as a mom, uh, that yes, there are sometimes, I don't know if you can relate, but just being plain honest, if I'm working or if I was traveling and working for 12 hours and come and I have to go to a recital, I was like, I was not like, yes, I was there, but I was tired and I was exhausted. And it's not like all these whistles that probably you can see in social media. The reality is different. You're tired, you're exhausted. Maybe something is going to take you like that and you're going to react. But we are there, right? As moms, no matter what, we're there. So I feel that also that give us the strength to succeed in business because we know how hard it is to be a mom, right? We put them, it's there first than anything else. We find the strength to do whatever we have to do, even with 2 hours of sleep. We keep running, right?
Yes.
Uh,
And that's like the beauty, I think, of mothers in business is that we already get this huge strength becoming mothers. And I say that because I feel like I got a lot of strength after becoming a mom that I didn't have as a woman beforehand. And like you said, we make sure we're there. One of the things that was also attractive to me in starting my own business was the fact that anything that my daughter is doing, I can literally plan around it. I don't have to focus so much on, oh my goodness, I have to be at this business meeting and I can't say no because there's someone above me that's saying you have to be here or you're not here, So
yes.
that's like one of the most amazing things. But to touch on something that you said earlier, we already go into the corporate space, right, with a few things stacked against us. For both of us, we're minority women, on top of the fact that we're women in a industry that is primarily male. And so when you go in, we already know there's going to be all these things stacked up against us, but it doesn't hurt any less when those things actually happen. Um, I can I can't count how many times I have been told some of the rudest things that you wouldn't even think would be said in a corporate space, but they're still saying it. Just like how they mentioned your accent. For me, it was my natural hair. My hair wasn't always natural. I hated having a perm though. So I returned my hair to natural, and I remember, I will never forget, I was working directly for the owner of a 6-story office building, and he goes through the training of how he wants things done. And just before he leaves to go to the other side of the world, he says to me, maybe you should pull your hair up next time, because I had my hair out in a curly fro, and he's like, you should probably pull it up. And I was like, no, I'm not going to. And so I'm telling you guys that because just like Katherine stood strong and she didn't try to change her accent, she didn't try to change who she was, I also didn't try to change my hair. And I later ended up leasing out more of his offices than anyone that he had before. We ended up going in about a year's time from about 65% occupied when I took over that building for him to 94%. I believe it was like 94, 95% occupied. So increasing that in a 6-story building is no easy feat. And we weren't in the best area of the city either. So I'm saying all that to say, like, no matter what stacks up against you, no matter what's going on, you can push through it. It's just about, again, like we've been saying, that drive and that motivation to say, hey, I want it bad enough and I want it as who I am. I'm not changing who I am to make me fit into your circle, but I'm going to show you just how valuable I am as who I am to the circle. So even if you're in corporate America, or if you decide to build your own business, that's a very valuable strength to have. Um, and I get ranty. You guys know that by now. Series. But I want to know from you, Katherine, what are some things that you feel like, specifically as a mompreneur, have been some strengths that have truly helped you navigate your business, and maybe even when you were in the corporate world, that you feel like are important for other mothers who are wanting to get into entrepreneurship, or maybe even start a hobby, but something that they're taking very seriously.
So yeah, definitely has, you have to have clarity. And I know that, clarity is kind of like, okay, means so many things, but you need to know, no more, no, not just who is that person, who is your ideal client, but it's who you don't want to work with and what you do not want to do. So this is the first thing, because I see so many people that they have a hard time trying to figure it out who is that ideal client. So sometimes it's easier to find out who you don't want to work with and what you do not want to do. So I would say that that's the first thing. And the second, as a mom, and I say before, organization is key. Being able for you to learn that organization skills and planning and organizing, that's going to help you to be successful. Not, and in corporate as well, right? Is if you're an organized, if you thrive, if you know what you want, it's going to be easier for you to focus in the tasks that are going to help you to move on. In corporate, same thing. So many times I hear, and I say this because and probably I haven't shared this with you, as part of my volunteer uh, work and things that I do is I work with the University of Tampa, and I coach executives in the healthcare industry. So sometimes people focus, and I say this because when you are climbing the ladder, gets to the point that you feel that you have to hustle or you have to work in corporate 15 hours a day in the way the other people or the upper people can see you. However, it's more like how efficient you are and how productive you are, and what are the things that you are doing that really are going to make a change. So same thing as an entrepreneur. So many times I see people focusing on things that are not going to give you a revenue of income, right? So you spend so many times doing things that like I when I get my clients, one of the things like, what do you do every day that is going to generate a lead? And so many people doesn't have that. And if you don't have leads, you're not going to have a business. And if you don't make money, so that's when you have a hobby. So definitely, organize yourself, know who you don't want to work with, and having clear what you do not want to do. And learning many things. Like I can tell you, like for my experience, I thought that coming from corporate and being able to have, I have an extensive knowledge of many things. It's a totally different ballgame. This online space and entrepreneurial journey, you wear all the hats. When you are in corporate, there is marketing department, there is the financial department, there is customer service. When you are an entrepreneur, it's just you. So investing, like if this is going to be your business, or even if it's a side hustle that you want to see, if there's something that you want to pursue moving forward, like if you have a really good skill and you feel that you need to learn another skill, just investing in yourself, in growing and developing. That's what is going to give you, the path to succeed. Because if not, you're going to be obsolete. there's many people outside that they train and they develop and they get better, and that's how their business get better. So I will say that.
Definitely good to be well-rounded. So we talked a lot about business and the fact that you have 3 children. And one of the questions that I know a lot of people may be thinking is, how in the world do you balance it all? And are you making any time for Katherine outside of being mommy and running a business? So yeah, tell us about that.
Uh, I this is something, if I enjoy, like for me, work is, and what you can say, work is not work. I sometimes in the weekends I just, connect with people, and I love the online space and all this kind of thing. So I don't feel it like that's my job. But I love to don't do nothing. So most of the time on Saturdays, I don't do nothing. I don't cook. I'm gonna say something, but sometimes I don't even shower on Saturdays because I just like, we order food, we chill out. That's my time, and I love that because Saturdays is the day that I don't have to bring Luca to golf, and I don't have to drive the other one to the mall, or this, they know that. So that's the way that I enjoy my, it's my time. Like Saturdays is my day off, right? And besides that, like how I juggle everything else, I'm really organized. And yeah, I put Luca, most Luca than anybody else, in the calendar, because he has appointments here, and doctor's appointment and therapy and all these kind of things. And I put him in my business calendar. In that way I don't oversee that. And I plan around those times, all his activities. And yeah, so now my other daughter that is graduating and is moving to Italy, yes, I put it in the calendar. But that is different because now they ask me like, hey, when you have, 30 minutes today or tomorrow, let's talk about these.
Right.
So it's different. It's different because they are, older. But definitely juggling the whole thing is organization. And for me, it's my calendar. So I know exactly when I can give you my attention, because for me, that's key. If I'm talking to somebody, connecting to somebody, doing business, I have to be present, and I have to be 110% there. And if I don't do it like that, I think that I couldn't do it at all.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you on the calendar thing. Like, if I forget something in my calendar, it's gonna be awful.
yeah,
It's
yes,
not a
I
good thing.
know. Yes, and is, for example, I run clubhouse group rooms in clubhouse, so they're in my calendar because I has been in the past that when I just start clubhouse, I knew that I have a recurrent club on room on Thursdays, let's say on Thursdays, uh, at 1. But if I have a discovery call or something like that, I tend to forget. Like if what's not in my calendar wasn't happening.
Exactly. Exactly.
So even if I know that it's a recurrent thing, it has to be in my calendar. Sometimes I open my phone, and if it's not in my calendar, I don't even think about it. I don't know. So yes, I feel like the calendar is key,
Yeah. It's like
especially
your personal to-do list. You like, I check it every morning, and that's what I communicate to my husband, like, hey, I've got a call on at this time and this time, for you to do X, Y, and Z. This is my block. It's
yeah.
free. And if I miss putting something in my calendar, it's almost guaranteed that I'm not gonna do it because I didn't see it that morning to see that it's in my calendar. So calendars are
Yeah.
very, very important, and it's really smart to get good at it. So you miss
Yeah.
things.
Yes, exactly.
because it is a huge, huge tool. Now, we're getting close up on our time, but I wanted to ask you. I have two fun questions.
Sure.
I normally prep people for this before, so I'm so sorry, Catherine. I didn't tell you about this particular question. It actually stumped me, but you might be better than me with this question. If there was a book that was written about your life, what would the title be, and why would that be the title?
What will be the title of my book?
Yeah.
Uh, I will say unapologetically me.
Nice. Didn't stump you at all. I love it. And why did you choose that as your title?
Because one of the things that I went through the entrepreneurial journey was unlearning many things and more than learning. And when I say unlearning was uh, getting rid of those ideas or pleasing people, or I have to say the things in this way. Of course I'm not gonna, if it's not nice, you don't say it at all, like in the same way that I am talking to my kids. Uh, but it's just a stand out from who I am and what I believe in business and in my personal life and my personal beliefs, and and being able to say that in a way that I put boundaries and this is who I am. And if you don't resonate with my message or my personality, it's all good. It's all fine. So yeah,
Love
that
it.
would be the my book.
Unapologetically me. Gotta add that to the list. Keeping a list of all of the titles to see if any books come out and snag them when they do. My other
Yeah.
question, I'm a big kid. You may not know that about me yet, but the more we talk, the more you'd probably figure that out. And Disney was a big part of my childhood. This is not my favorite movie, but Aladdin is definitely probably a close second. So I want you to imagine that you just walk out your door and you look down and there's this beautiful purple lamp, because I imagine if I was a genie, it would be purple, and you pick it up and you rub it and I pop out and I tell you that you have three wishes. There's only one rule. You cannot wish for more wishes, but otherwise you can wish for whatever you want. What will your three wishes be?
I will be that will be money, that will be health, um and that's it.
No third wish?
No.
Okay. So
My
everybody,
son asked me the same question yesterday.
really?
Because and maybe you don't know this about me either. We're Disney fans here. So I live in Orlando, and now I'm living in Tampa, but we are pass holders and we talk about Disney. Let me show you something that I have in on my desk, and I keep it close to me.
Nice. Need to know. I learned
Everything
Disney
in
little golden book. Oh my goodness. That is amazing.
so yeah. Yeah, that would be my two wishes.
Two wishes with one in your back pocket and just in case.
Yes.
I love
I
it.
think that yes.
I can't wait to take my daughter to Disney World. That's one of the things that I really wanted to do, because as a kid I never got to go. So that was something that I think I'm still like yearning for as a kid, but like I felt it wouldn't be weird because I know adults go all the time. So like this is no shade if you're the adult that goes just by yourself. Do you live the magical Disney World life?
Love
but
it. I love it.
I
Yes.
was like nervous about going as an adult by myself. So I was like, I have a kid now, so I'll take her when we're probably going to do it in the next year or so she can kind of remember the experience. So I don't know. She just turned 4, so I don't know if she would remember right
Oh,
now.
she will definitely remember the experience. Just like, and just let me know. We can have fun.
Yeah.
Anytime that you want to do it as an adult, I love it. I go by myself and I go with with the only friend that I have. She's a Disney fan. Like it's different experience as an adult than as a kid, because you're back to being a kid and you enjoy, but you get to do fun stuff as an
Right.
adult, right? Yes. Yes. So yeah.
Well, I'll
Let me
definitely have to reach out to
let
you
me
when we go out that way, because there's 3 moms that I know now in that area. So I'm definitely gonna have to connect, because we've been talking about like traveling out to Florida and seeing what it's all about there and
know.
possibly relocating, but we don't know that
Yeah.
yet. We're not saying that for sure yet, but we've kind of thrown that around a little bit. We've been talking about relocating for a few years though, and we just haven't like put a pin into like where we want to call home.
Fair.
So,
Okay.
but yeah,
Good.
when I come by now, I didn't know. I don't know why I thought you were in Cali. I may have like
Oh,
just fabricated that. I don't know, but I thought you were in Cali. So now that I know you're in Florida, I definitely have to reach out when we make that trip.
exactly.
Awesome.
Happy to host.
Well, Catherine, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Please tell everyone how they can connect with you. And once you've given a couple different ways they can connect with you, if you have a message that you want to leave everyone with before we go, you can give a final message before we head out.
Yes, so you can connect with me on Instagram at Katherine Beltran Coaching. My DMs are open all the time. I will respond within 24 hours. Or you can, on Instagram, there is my email. My website is katherinebeltran.com. And yes, definitely feel free to connect. And one thing that I want to say is that if you really want, you're gonna make it happen. So just like don't wait for when you're ready, and don't wait to do what what you really want to do. And this may sound rough. We all going to die, and one day, you won't be here, and you don't know when is that day. And just like living knowing that that's going to happen should propel you to live the life and go after what makes you happy, because it's a cap on this time, on this physical experience and here on earth. So go for it.
So true. Thank you so much for those final words. Everyone, if you guys enjoyed chatting it up with Catherine today, be sure to connect with her. Everything will be linked in the description, and it also will have popped up on your screen by now. Thank you so much, Catherine. I enjoyed it, and I am so excited to speak with you on Monday, June 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Instagram. If you're seeing this after June 21st, you know now you can catch all of the series on YouTube. It's up there for the life of my channel, as well as on IGTV. Talk to you guys soon. Bye, Catherine.
Bye.